Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Tics. We're a YouTube channel dedicated to all kinds of smartwatches, and today we are going to unveil the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE version. You'll find us anytime you want on the web at smartwatchtics.com. I'm going to run through a set of questions, and anywhere along the line that you say no, feel free to bail out of this video. This is a longer, in-depth look at this. If you want a quick look, check out other reviews because we're going to go deep. First of all, let's take a look at it. As I unbox it, I want to start helping you answer the question, do you want a wearOS smartwatch? What is wearOS by Google? That is an operating system, kind of like Windows is an operating system, and Apple has its iOS, right? I know, I'm getting really basic. But it's an operating system for watches, in particular watches supported by Google. Here we are, and here I am. Hi, everybody. I always get these people saying, you know, at 2 minutes and 13 seconds, there was a face reveal. Yeah, did I comb my hair? All right, let's move on. Here it is inside the box. We're going to get a little bit deeper, but you notice when I did that, you can actually read the time. This is because of a dual layer technology specific to the TicWatch Pro, but that comes in the next question. We want to know, first of all, do you want a wearOS smartwatch? Okay, there are actually four different kinds of operating systems out there. wearOS is a common one made by Google and licensed to a lot of the big watchmakers that have used it as the operating system in their watch. The nice thing about it is it's specifically made to work in a watch environment, so it's really efficient inside of a watch. A drawback is, although it's based on Android, it's not like a true Android operating system in that you could load up any of the apps that you have in your phone into your watch. That's where a different kind of operating system comes in, and that's the true or pure Android operating system. We'll be back to the unpacking while I show you a typical Android smartwatch. This one's called the Janus. It's got a custom watch face that one of our viewers made for me. Has a camera on it on the front, a camera on the side, and that's a characteristic of Android watches. They usually come with cameras and a whole lot of other bells and whistles. Different kind of screen technology, different sizes and shapes, and they'll load up regular Android software. Drawback is it's not optimized so much for the watch, and you need to be somewhat technical to be able to make everything work. But it is available. These watches tend to cost less because they use the free version of the Android operating system. But the wearOS that we have here also has some really nice watch faces. There's the actual screen for all of the watch functions, and then this is the essential mode liquid crystal display, like an old Casio watch that shows you the time that's actually brighter in sunlight. That's one of the unique features that you get with this watch that gives it its 30-day time. We're starting to delve into, do you want a TicWatch Pro? But first you got to decide on the operating system, and before we leave that and go into the box, we want to mention that Samsung, they're out there with their own operating system. This is called Tizen, and it's another operating system specifically made for watches, not compatible with Google. You can't get the OK keyword for saying Google and work on the watch. You have to use their old S voice, for example. But you can use that trigger for both the regular Android watches and the wearOS watches. And on and on and on. It's a different operating system. So I challenge you, if you don't know anything about it, before you make your decision on getting a smartwatch, an expensive one, that you do your research on the operating systems. And yes, there are videos that I've put together that go over and compare all three operating systems, and a special one that really looks at these two, the Tizen and the wearOS. So I'll give you links on how you get to those if you want to study up a little bit before making the decision to say, yes, I want a wearOS watch. If you're at that point, we're ready to move on. The next question is, do you want a TicWatch Pro? Well, you don't even know because you haven't seen what's in the box, right? It comes with a nice box. You saw that. It was wrapped around this little insert. Inside, you have a charger and a wire attached to the charger that plugs into a standard USB port on your computer or a charging unit or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, it just sits in the little dock with the pins connected to the cradle, and it doesn't have to snap in. It just magnetically lands in there. It's really strong. It's not going to fall out. You have to work hard to get it out of there if you want to pull it out, and it'll charge right there in the cradle. Okay, there's no wireless charging dock for it. Some of the watches have that. This one has to actually make connection with these pins. Don't put it in backwards. It's not going to work. You have to make sure you put it in the right way so that you'll charge. Okay? And then you come up with a manual. Now, I've done full unboxings of the original TicWatch Pro, so we're not going to go into detail on the manual. There are new features with the cellular. That's the major thing that's different. And we're going to cover that as we get into the actual watch itself. But there is a manual that comes with it. I'm sure it's online, available for you to look at too. You get the charging dock, the wire, and of course, you get the watch that's going to be sitting in the box. So do you want a TicWatch Pro? Well, let's talk about that, as opposed to, say, another version of a wearOS watch. A lot of times folks are looking for longer life in these watches. They tend to die out, sometimes in less than a day, but maybe a day, 2 days. With this technology, this dual layer technology and this thing called essential mode, you can literally get up to 30 days of use out of the watch. Now, what's happening is it's just going into a screen showing you the time, the date, and your step count, and that's basically it. You don't go anywhere unless you light the screen up. And when you do, then, oh yeah, by all means, you can go all kinds of places. You can see all kinds of stuff. And that's the whole wearOS part of it happening. So if you want a standard wearOS type of a watch with layered technology that gives you long life, then a TicWatch Pro is probably the one you're looking for. It's only the Pro that has this dual layer process capability. Okay, so you want a wearOS and you want a TicWatch Pro. You with me so far? If you are, now the big question, I'm sure why all of you are watching, because most of you know about the TicWatch Pro already. Do you want the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE? What does it bring to the market that is important to you, that would make you decide to spend the extra bucks on a 4G LTE? Let's take a look at that right now. So here we are, another wonderful piece of paper. This is my high-tech approach. It's the information, folks, not so much the presentation. Unique features that are available with the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE that you don't find on the original TicWatch Pro or pretty much any other watch. Hardware-wise, we do have 4G LTE cellular capability. That means the cellular network circuitry and stuff is built into here. It still has removable bands, mind you, just like the original TicWatch that you can put on any band you want. And that's a real feat of science and engineering to fold these 4G data antennas into the body of this watch. Most of the time, you find them on the Android watches, the antennas are in the bands and they're kind of stiff. So really awesome that it's got 4G built into it, and that of course is going to add to the cost, but it's also going to give you some great features, which we'll be covering when we get to the last section here. They've bumped up the RAM in here. The RAM is the operating memory that the programs run in. It's doubled in size, so it's going to be snappier, and you can do more things with it simultaneously, and it'll handle all that stuff that you need for 4G data and communications. It's got a long life battery. It's running from 2 to 30 days depending on the overall use, and it compares with the original one. It may be better overall, but when you're using 4G, you might see less battery life. So this is going to really depend on your workload. It may or may not be better than the original TicWatch Pro, but it is in there as a spec that it's something that can uniquely set aside. The LTE version is a longer battery life. It's got redesigned, higher grade, more pliable band. Now, to show you that, I got to bring over the original TicWatch Pro. Here you go. And it's kind of cool. The original one I got was in the silver, and the new one that we've got is in the full black. Both are available in both colors, so you're going to have a chance to kind of compare the two. And this is that point in time where I'm going to put the bands on and show you what they actually look like. But before we do that, take a look at the bands. This has got kind of a stitched leather look to it, and this is more of a TPU feel to it. The back has got the rubberized TPU, so sweat's not going to affect the leather appearance. And this one's just got a nice smooth, when you feel it, it's like liquid. It's a very, 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 very pliable band. Easy on, doesn't interfere at all. This is really, really close. I can't complain. If I only knew this band, I would be happy with it. It's adequate. It gets the job done. It holds nicely. You can select a hole that works for you to give you the best connection. It's an overall nice band. Okay, got that crimply look like leather has. So if you want the dressy kind of an appearance, and I remind you, these are removable. It's not a breaking point on which one to buy on the bands. Just telling you that this one's coming with kind of a more sporty band. It really wraps around smoothly on the arm. It's smooth. I like it. Can you tell? I like it. I'm not so concerned about being dressy, but it's not as formal looking as the leather. Just to let you know, there's two different bands, and this is what comes with the 4G LTE. It's got its logo right on here, the whole works. Since I got them side by side, look, they're pretty much the same. However, there is one fun little fact, and I've got it on the sheet here, that this thing's like 11 grams lighter. It's got all the circuitry in it, but it's actually lighter than the original TicWatch Pro. Amazing, huh? Yeah, they really do look a lot alike, even down to all the bezel markings, but they're slightly different. So where were we? Okay, this is now IP68 water resistant. That means it structurally supports swimming, and it has a pool swim suitable speaker on it. Now, I haven't tried it. I don't know if you can play music and listen to it underwater or any of that jazz. Kind of reluctant to do that till I know a little more about it. But it does have that capability to handle water really well. And again, I'm not totally sure how that compares with the TicWatch Pro, but it's a point that they've made that the 4G LTE has IP68 water resistance to it. Here we go, the design. It's coming in 11 grams lighter than the original TicWatch Pro, and the 4G LTE is built to impress. And last, by sporting a stainless steel bezel. Okay, around here, it's black, but it's stainless steel. And get this, and this is kind of a big one. If you're into this kind of stuff, you understand that a military standard 810G is a pretty high rating that this thing has to live up to for durability. A lot of those hiking and rugged fitness watches that you see, they're not WearOS, have structural capability to meet these standards. Oh, wow. I have a limited time offer. This is tethered. It's pushing notifications. And if you haven't got a Facer or a watchmaker, those are installable apps that you can put in these WearOS watches that allow you to install custom watch faces, which I'm going to show you one. Actually, that one that's playing right now is a custom face. But we're talking durability. So this is a big thing for the 4G LTE to be supporting that. Now, Due to 4G's law in America, this is kind of interesting. This watch supports GPS, GLONASS, and BIDAO for the tracking stuff, you know, for your position information, but without Galileo. I don't understand that. Those of you technical probably do. But as far as GPS and getting your signal, it works fine. And so does GPS work in the regular TicWatch Pro. The difference is, if you don't have your phone with you, you're not connected anyhow to the network, you're kind of stuck. You're not going to have Google Maps for tracing your location and all that kind of stuff without some sort of a connection to get those maps there. This one you can. If you have the 4G LTE data enabled, anything that you need on the internet, you can ask Google for questions and get answers with just your watch on. That's a big difference. Do you want to have the freedom to not need to be with your phone? If you do, then you've already answered yes that you want the 4G LTE version, because that's the only way you're going to get it. Without the 4G, you have to use your phone connected through Bluetooth to be able to communicate with the internet, anything on the internet. Okay, and this is a GPS thing. So that's all about the physical stuff, the hardware between these two different versions. As you get down into the software, you can see because you have 4G in here, you got the ability to do emergency SOS with location sharing. And you have to have, of course, 4G active and data enabled in order for that to happen. But it has a feature to send out an emergency signal with your location to find where you are. And if you've been following the news of sad but really incredible things that have happened with people where they've had a watch and they've been able to get help simply because of that SOS stuff. It's pretty valuable. If you're talking about this for a senior or an active person, or if you live in a high crime area, that's a consideration to make sure that you have that SOS capability. Now we're getting a little technical. 4G LTE with Verizon. Verizon offers a thing called number sharing, and that's a feature that can be set up with this new watch where your primary telephone, your cell phone number, can become the primary number, and this can become, in a sense, a slave off of that, but not like tethered to your phone all by itself. So you can have standalone calls and SMS. Again, 4G LTE has to be active and data enabled, and you have to set up number sharing specially with the carrier. When you do all of that stuff, then in a crazy kind of way, it's like you got a clone of your phone in your watch. You can leave your phone at home, go out with just your watch, and still be using your phone's phone number. That's the whole thing about number sharing. Not just a watch. You could do it in a tablet. You could do it with another phone, your old phone, I guess. You can have, I think, up to 5 devices. But I'm getting way into how it works with the cellular company. Just know that one of the software differences between this one and this one is that number sharing. And of course, it's because you don't have the number sharing at all, because this doesn't have the 4G LTE in it. So that's all of that. Now you get into a few more things software-wise. TicMotion 2.0, this is a new feature. It may be upgraded into this one because all software and firmware has the possibility to be upgraded. If it doesn't need the 4G, look for it possibly emerging on the TicWatch Pro original. But for now, for this one, the 2.0 has click-free motion tracking. It does proactive tracking for running and fast walking. So you don't have to press any buttons. You just put it on and start running, and it's going to start tracking. Okay? Tic Pulse, and I want to show you that on this one because that's really cool. That's one of these widgets that we have in here, and I've been using it so I could show it to you. There's the widget, and see, it's 24-hour heart rate monitoring. When you go down, okay, first I have to go into it. There we go. And here's my history on all of that. Oh no, come back here. There we go. Am I in it? Okay, I am in it. Well, all right, I'm not going to squirrel it back. I'm just going to go down. So I've got my heart chart. There's when I got excited about doing this video, and here I am now peaking, folks. There's my resting heart rate and so forth values. Then you get your heart rate zone. It talks about that daily heart rate line chart. That was that one there. This is your heart rate zone. Look at that. I got 25 minutes in cardio for today, but 7.5 hours in resting. Yeah, I did a little bit of sprinting and whatnot quickly just to test it out, and it's working. So this is a daily average. Then it gives you your average resting heart rate over 7 days. Now, I've only used it for 2, but if I had a whole average on here, you get your basic daylight heart resting heart rate, okay? I know you guys have been looking at the ring the whole time I've been talking, and yes, that's a technical ring, and I am going to do a review on that, and this little puppy assesses my resting heart rate at night, which runs in the neighborhood of 50 to 56 beats per minute. My daytime one, as assessed by this watch on my arm, coming in at 75, 76 so far. So that's data that's coming in right on the watch, which also you can look at in the app in this new TicMotion 2.0. Oh, sorry, TicPulse, the TicPulse stuff. And then a last thing, which is really cool because you're going to have 4G in here. That puts you on the internet. That connects you with a thread to the cloud. This is coming with cloud synchronization. So you can automatically sync messaging and emails and alerts from your smartphone directly to the watch, okay? Without your phone anywhere around. Bluetooth free, everything, and also without downloading any standalone apps to go into the watch itself, for Gmail or WhatsApp or Hangouts and SMS and so forth on Android phones. It's just going to be there. So it really is like taking a sensor extension from your phone. You know, if you could just unscrew a little center section of the screen and take it with you, that's what you're doing when you get into the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE version. At the same time, having it set up so that it can automatically switch to this layered version of the essential mode. When it's right here, it's like really low power. And you can get 30 days worth of use out of it if you just stayed in essential mode. So now you're going to extend the overall battery life because the time you have it on is going to be more minimized than it would be before, but you'll still have always on screen time. Yeah. So we covered all of that stuff, right? Which was, do you want a TicWatch Pro? Okay. Do you want the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE? Hopefully you've made up your mind. If you don't, and you still want the TicWatch, the original is still available as well. Where to buy? Well, I'm encouraging you to use this link, tinyurl.com/TicWatches. It's easy to remember. This is going to take you to Amazon, and it ties into Mr. Ticks here. So I'm part of an affiliate program, and in all honesty, yeah, if you buy any of these TicWatches from Amazon using this link, I'll be able to get a little % of that, and that's going to help me keep this channel going. So I'm not advertising and marketing. I'm trying to give you reviews on these things, and they're upbeat because I really do think these are great smartwatches. However, I'm not saying that they're the best, and I'm not encouraging you to buy them. You could buy a WearOS watch by a different company, or a Tizen watch by Samsung, or a standard Android watch by a variety of companies. But if you want a TicWatch Pro, and you want the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE, and you want to buy it now, that link works for you. If you're still not sure, but you're leaning toward the Mobvoi TicWatch family, then I've got a place for you to review more videos. Just go to tinyurl.com/TicWatchReviews. TicWatch Reviews. That will land you on a page that lists all of the different TicWatches I've reviewed. It's also the same page where we've got the comparison between the Android watches, the Tizen watches, and the Android Wear watches. All of that stuff is here. So you got a bunch of opportunities to learn more, and if you don't need to learn more and you're ready to buy, you got a place to go. You've been watching Smartwatch Ticks. Really appreciate you being here. Your subscription is awesome too. You'll be notified when I review this ring, this incredible ring, which will be pretty soon. I'm just finishing collecting data on it. And of course, new information coming out on these TicWatches, like when this actually goes live cellular. We're going to give a try to hook this thing up and test out all the features. Coming up very soon, in addition to all this, I'm going to leave you with one more piece of paper. This one. You ready? A phone call guide. I'm just going to lay the foundation, but I don't want to get too technical. Because this is 4G, you can put in you can set it up with its own separate phone number, and your phone can have its own separate phone number, or you can do that number sharing. Now, if you set it up with its own separate phone number, there's a variety of configurations that apply and conditions that happen depending on when a call comes into your phone or into your watch. And where's it going to ring, and where can you answer? And when you call out, where's it going to look like it came from, your watch or your phone? Take a look at this. This chart basically covers all that, but in a separate video, we're going to go through the real technical details for those that are interested in that level. And it does get somewhat complex. I tried to organize it in an easy way to understand depending on where a call is coming in and what mode you have it set on. But I'll let you know, this is a really sophisticated watch. It's called in the trade a dual mode watch, meaning it can be tethered to your phone and really act as an extension phone of your regular phone, as long as you're within Bluetooth range. Both of these can do that. The regular TicWatch can do that, tethering. So they're both tethering watches, but this is also a standalone watch. It can have its own SIM, or it can do the number share and not have to have the phone anywhere near it. When you have a standalone and a tethering together, it's called a dual mode. So the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE dual mode smartwatch is what you're considering buying right now. If you're never going to leave your phone behind, but you still want to be able to receive and answer and talk with phone calls, then a tethering watch is great, and the original TicWatch Pro can handle that, or the Tizen version of operating system with the Samsung, or the Android watches do tethering as well. They all can do phone calls, SMS, using your phone as long as your phone is near you within 30 feet, okay? But only the TicWatch Pro 4G LTE connected with its own SIM can do independent standalone phone calling away from your phone. Boy, you've been really good to stick with it this long. I applaud you, and thank you for watching. Again, we invite you to subscribe. Find us on the web anytime you want, and tell your friends on social media if you can, smartwatchtics.com. And we will see you again soon, especially with a long, detailed look at all of those phone capabilities in this watch. Thanks for watching. Oh, one more thing. You remember earlier on I said there were like 4 different operating systems. We had the wearOS, the regular Android operating system, the Tizen operating system. Well, I like to call it the 4th one the MMMOS. That's a magical, mystical, malleable operating system, and it's kind of the system that's in all the other watches we review here. It's based on nothing, but it delivers just about anything. For example, look at this one. I've got the same LCD screen that I can turn on into a full-color fitness watch with sleep time, step count, even heart rate. Or flip it back to time and off into the same essential mode. Yeah, subscribers, in a couple of weeks, I'll have some information on this and you'll be notified. For the rest of you, well, just a little hint of what you get when you step over here and check us out at smartwatchtics.com. We'll see you.